In the world of towering roller coasters and rides, we rarely pause to think that amidst the laughter, a scream of terror could change everything. Amusement parks are the backdrop for fun, until suddenly, they are not, echoing a reminder that sometimes joy can take a dark turn. On a fateful day, August 5th, tragedy struck at Luna Cape Dagda theme park. A ride known for lifting spirits and adrenaline to sky-high levels went into despair as two teenagers fell 180 feet amidst strong winds, leaving one dead on the spot. What was supposed to be a fun day became a day of questions and heartache. What exactly happened on that ride? How did a gust of wind turn a thrill into a life-altering event? Today, we unravel the tragedy at the Luna Cape Dagda theme park, seeking answers to the tough questions. How could this happen, and what can be done to prevent such a tragedy? Luna Cape Dagda, a sun-kissed seaside resort on the southern coast of France, typically echoes with the sounds of summer joy. Here, the Luna Cape Dagda theme park stands as a beacon of fun, its rides reaching skyward like towering monuments to adventure. Among these, the adrenaline ride is a favorite, known for its fast climb to dizzying heights, promising a rush of excitement for those daring to take the ride. The adrenaline attraction is no ordinary ride. It's an experience that throws you into the air with the sudden rush of being lifted 180 feet above the ground. It's a moment where the world below becomes small quickly, a short break from gravity's hold. Riders, locked in their seats, wait for the moment they will swing high above the park, a feeling like floating in the sky. The charm of adrenaline lies in this promise of flying, of the feeling of touching the clouds with your fingers and feeling the rush of wind on your face. Yet with the park's long history of safety, it is clear that this promise comes with a careful commitment to the well-being of its visitors. Luna Park has faced troubles before, with the occasional ride problem leaving riders hanging. Each incident, though rare, is a reminder of the huge responsibility of those who run these high-flying machines. You can call Luna Park a place where families come for a day unlike any other, where teens push their bravery, and where the young at heart find the joy of flying. It's a place all its own, where a quiet hope joins every loud cheer of fun for safety, and every ride shows our trust in those who control our flights into the sky. On August 5th, 2023, a day just like any other at Luna Park, the air was filled not just with excitement but also with an unusual breeze. It was stronger than what anyone in Cape Dagda was used to, the kind of wind that made you hold onto your hats a little tighter. Yet the rides continued to spin, and the games went on because no one could have guessed just how much that wind would change everything. The adrenaline ride, standing tall like a giant among the other rides, was where the fun turned into fear. It was supposed to be another ride, another loop of thrills for those who dared to soar. But as the two teenagers were strapped into their harnesses and lifted into the sky, no one could predict that the strong gusts of wind would send them on a much different journey than the one they'd signed up for. They say the ride could reach speeds like a car on the freeway, and that day, as the wind howled and the adrenaline swung, it was like the ride was trying to race the wind itself, but the wind won. It sent the cable off its usual path, and in those heart-stopping moments, it was no longer about the thrill. It was about holding on, but the unimaginable happened. The teenagers fell. They fell 180 feet past the bright lights of the park, past the sounds of laughter and music, into silence. As they fell, they met obstacles on their way down, adding to the tragedy of their descent. On the ground, the aftermath was chaos and confusion, with everyone asking the same question: how could a day of fun turn into a nightmare? But in those moments, there were no answers, just the harsh reality of a ride gone wrong and a day that the park and the town would never forget. As the adrenaline ride came to a sudden and chilling stop, silence swept over Luna Park. The fun and games were put on pause as everyone's attention turned to the unthinkable. A day of joy had turned into a nightmare right before their eyes. Emergency teams rushed to the scene, their sirens cutting through the heavy air, a stark reminder of the seriousness of what had just happened. The park, once a bustling hub of laughter, was now a site of urgency and concern. Park staff acted swiftly, halting all rides and clearing the area, their expressions tense as they focused on the task at hand. The two teenagers, whose day took a tragic turn, were the center of everyone's thoughts. A 17-year-old boy, full of life just moments before, now lay still, his injuries too severe to overcome. The young boy was pronounced dead on the spot. A 19-year-old girl who had been seated next to him was quickly taken to the hospital, her condition critical, the joy of her day replaced with uncertainty and pain. As the park closed its gates, the rides that had been full of excited guests stood silent, a haunting reminder of the accident. Luna Park, a place that represented escape and happiness, was now enveloped in a somber mood. In the quiet aftermath of the accident at Luna Park, as the last of the day's light faded away, a new phase was just beginning: the search for answers. With the rides now silent, the question on everyone's mind was simple yet heavy with meaning. How did this happen? Local prosecutor Raphael Balland and his team stepped into the park, not for the fun that others came for, but to unravel the events that led to such a heartbreak. They started by talking to the people who knew the park best, including the manager of Luna Park. These were the folks who ran the rides every day, who knew the sounds of a perfect run and the signs when something was off. The investigators were like detectives, looking at every clue. They needed to understand every detail of the adrenaline ride, from the harnesses that were meant to keep the riders safe to the cable that was supposed to guide their flight high above the ground. They listened to witnesses, those who had seen the cable take a path it should never have, leading to the teenagers hitting a metal pylon and falling. As the park remained closed, police tape marking the spot of the accident, the town's mayor spoke out. Gilles de Torre talked about the wind and how it was an unusual guest in Capodagda. There weren't even rules about what to do with the rides when the wind blew like that, because it just didn't happen until it did. The investigators also had to look at the ride's history. Had this ever happened before? They found out about past accidents. Back in 2015, a couple experienced a frightening moment when the slingshot ride they were enjoying snapped. They were left hanging, suspended in the air for over an hour as they waited for rescue to arrive. The ordeal ended with the woman suffering a broken leg while her partner escaped with just bruises, a lucky outcome from a potential disaster. Fast forward to 2019, and another incident left its mark on the park's history. A rider on the adrenaline attraction finished their experience with an unexpected trip to the hospital to receive stitches after allegedly coming too close to the ground and grazing their head. But nothing like this. The present predicament was too severe. This wasn't going to be quick. The investigators had a lot to go through. They had to check if the ride was okay to run that day, with the wind howling like a warning. They had to see if everything on the ride was working right. They had to know if this sad day could have been prevented, or if it was a terrible twist of fate. However, the investigation is still ongoing, and with no date to end in mind. Everyone is watching and waiting for the answers. The families of the teenagers, the people who love to come to Luna Park, and the ones who ran it. When we step through the gates of an amusement park, we're wrapped up in the promise of fun and excitement. But behind the scenes, there's a serious and constant focus on safety. Parks like Luna Cap d'Agde have a duty to ensure that every click of a harness and every start of a ride is as safe as can be. This means regular checks on all equipment, rigorous training for staff, and clear instructions for riders. And when the weather turns, as it did on that unexpected day in August, parks often have policies to stop certain rides until it's safe again. These policies are there to protect us, even if it means delaying our fun. Despite the best efforts, though, risks can never be zero. That's why emergency protocols are in place, so that if something does go wrong, the situation can be handled swiftly and effectively to minimize harm. It's a team effort, from the engineers who design the rides to the operators who run them daily. As we look forward to our next adventure at an amusement park, let's stay informed about the safety measures and always respect the guidelines set by the park. Our awareness and cooperation are part of the safety chain. And remember, fun is always best when it's safe. So as you chase the thrills, keep an eye on the rules designed to protect you. Share your thoughts and experiences on amusement park safety, and let's keep the conversation going. Stay safe, stay informed, and let the good times roll responsibly.